Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
Damon Armstrong.
Keith Barnes.
this is a weekly episode. I'd like to apologize for a little tardiness. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, so if you are a frequent watcher, I apologize to you. So, how we doing today, guys? Jaquari, how was your day today?
Man, it was a productive day, man. Everybody's kind of miffed with the weather and all that, man. But I like it hot. I'd much rather be hot than cold. I think I'm getting older. My fingertips getting up. So,
Yeah. With my gout, my fingertips really do get numb, which is crazy. In the cold, yes, sir. Damon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing real good, man. Other than the fact that it was humid as hell today, hot, and I like it. I like fall weather. You know, when it's too hot, sap your energy.
Got you. Keith Barnes, how was your day
Yes,
today?
sir. Man, my day
thanks
was
for coming back. So, but
Oh, thanks for having. Always, thanks for having me. It's been a while. Day been good, man. I'm in Atlanta, and
sucky.
yeah, so I went down there and stopped at the delivered to the post office,
Mm-hmm.
and we representing.
Did you partake in some peach cobbler?
Man, that's all I saw. They walking around and then a herd. It was a herd coming across the parking lot.
No doubt.
Looking at me, gazing in my eyes.
looking at your eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I was telling you that after you finish, you got to get your proof of delivery, your BOL. So come out there and she said, "You can go." I said, "I can go." I said, "Well, I can't go until you give me my BOL." What's that?
Uh-huh.
I said, the whole time, "What's that?" And he blinking the eyes, gazing in my eyes. That's the proof of delivery. Proof of delivery. I said, "Yeah, who gave it to you?" That's a young lady. I said, "Actually, you see that red car over there?" Yeah, I said, "That blue car, the girl that drive the blue car next to that." And she said, "Describe her." Oh, she got on some spandex and some boots. She said spandex and boots. Then she looked down. She had on spandex and boots. I said, "Yeah, she looked like you."
Oh, that was real
But
smooth.
yeah, I said she had a head wrap. It was like she had some twists. Her hair was in the twist. She said, "Oh, Keisha." I said, "Well, damn." I said, "How many women work in here?" She said, "Oh, it's a lot of women in here."
With spandex and look like you.
Yeah, but Keisha got the twist and the head wrap. So she knew exactly who Keisha was. I'm like, wow.
I got you.
But I was thinking, hey, don't be gazing at my eyes. I ain't used to that.
Yeah. Like, what's your angle here? You look at me in my eyes. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You don't know.
We predators around here, don't look the lion in the eye.
When I was younger, I was used to the eye gazing, in anger, in joy, in lust. They always have. Oh shit! You know what, man? I don't know if it was my dad, but I learned along the way when you're talking to somebody, you look them straight in their eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I never could not do that.
Yeah, I'm looking right at you. I'm not looking at my feet. I'm not looking at, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you put it in the category as respect or anything, but I think what it really signifies is you know what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm looking at you, understanding clearly how I feel, whether I'm right or wrong. This is
Yeah.
how I feel. You know what I mean? It ain't no confusion. You know.
I think mine go it during communication. I got eye contact, but I do drift and come back. I'll drift and come back, and that's me just kind of being aware of my surroundings.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Sometimes I think with me when I'm eye to eye with somebody, especially men, a lot of times they start acting different. I don't know if I'm looking like I'm challenging them or something or what, but
They don't start growling on you, do they?
yeah, they get get the chest up
Yeah, they
like they
supposed
getting
to.
extra aggressive. I'm like, dude, cut it out.
It is. It is aggressive, man. It is aggressive, man. That's
Yeah.
why it affects animals and shit.
You know
Like
what?
the animal, you look the animal in the eye. He on point. You know that's why animals don't smile. You show your teeth in the animal kingdom. That's a sign of aggression.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what?
that's why niggas be gritting.
Like
Everybody
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you who's good at it. As far as just looking at people, keeping eye contact. Fluke is real good at that. Where he disarms people. Like the three of us, it's either one or the other. Either they are taken aback, right? Or they receive it the way it's supposed to be received. It depends how you're being raised. But Fluke,
Right.
you have that charm where you could be talking to somebody and they receive it a certain way, where they're receptive to what you're saying.
Right.
So what do you think about that? Do you agree with me?
It's all circumstantial, man. I mean, it depends on what situation you're in. Are you relaxed, comfortable? You're in a good setting. You know what I'm saying? It all varies, man, because if you're just walking down the street and you see a couple of fellas and you have eye contact and then you look down, to them, you're a mark, man. You know what I'm saying?
Depending where you are, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're a mark. So you got to be able to gauge how long to keep eye contact, man. But if you feel like stress or danger, hell, you keep an eye on them. You know.
Yeah.
But I think it varies.
Yeah.
An experience I had was that I guess it's reverse. Somebody tried to slap the punk into you, but you. It's been a time when I was standing there and like my grandfather like be in my face, and he was hell raising. So I got eye contact with him because the way he talking to me and everything. I got eye contact with him, and he don't like the way I'm locked in. So I'll get slapped. Fix your damn face.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got this, you know. Now I'm using my peripheral. Now I'm looking for the hands. I ain't got eye contact. I'm more like in here, in the shoulders.
Yeah.
So and it was a game you had to play because if you were locked in first, you just on the shoulders. Now you ain't paying attention. So
So
you
he
get
kept you
slapped
on
for
your
that too.
toes.
Yeah, you get slapped for that too.
Yeah, I think like with me, with eye contact, it's the kind of conversation I'm having with my boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we're having a conversation in which I'm talking to them about something important and they don't like it, then I'm going and they have this look in their eye. Because you know the difference between with your children, you know the difference between that look of concentration and look of, man, who
Yeah.
I'm me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, hold on, man. Wait a minute. Let me let you know I detect that bullshit that you own right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just there's a simple phrase. You all right? That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Everything cool, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
You sure? Okay.
You got to. You do that with other men too. You know,
Yeah.
like, yo, you good? You know what I'm saying? Because you know we some of us more than others. We always have confrontations in our everyday lives. You know what I mean? It might be small ones, real small ones, but then there might be some big ones too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to learn how to navigate because some people just take shortcuts, especially if they can defend themselves. They take shortcuts. Who you think you're looking at? What?
Yeah.
Who are da 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 da? You know what I'm saying? They go from 0 to 10.
I don't telegraph, man. I don't telegraph. You know, in my everyday life, I don't telegraph. Like
Mhm.
it's really hard not to be able to tell my intent because I do give eye contact. My eye contact is a gift to you. You can
Mm-hmm.
always you can always tell what's going on in the moment. You know,
Yeah.
from my eyes. Whatever. And like in my job, I'm making my business every day to go in there and press every man hand, every male hand, man and young man. Look them in their eye and say, "How you doing today, brother?"
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's
Just
real.
checking temperature.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you the crazy thing, Keith, and Damon and Jaquari tell you. When we grew up, they used to like, yo, man, don't look at nobody, don't speak. Y'all remember that when we was kids? You know what I'm saying? But me seeing
Key.
my father speaking to strangers, I'm like, well, shit. You know what I mean? You just got to deal with it.
But Keith, you was crazy with that shit. That used to have me rolling, bro. We walk past, say some females walk past and don't speak.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Keith gets straight in their face. Hello, how are you doing today?
How are you? You
Oh,
okay?
he still do that.
Man, he had that bad boy. I was like, man, this brother crazy.
But when I was young, I was just testing it out as a social weapon. You know what I'm saying? We out, we free. You know, we single, whatever, right? And how do you walk past somebody and not speak? I understand if you're in a dangerous area or people give you the body language like they don't want you to speak to them. I get that because we recognize that. But if you feeling free, then all of a sudden you close up when you passing me, I'm gonna still say, hey, how you doing today? You ain't got to speak to me. But understand, I just spoke to you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But that what Damon just described, and all that was, that was peacocking.
I thought he was, man, that used to be the funniest shit in the world, man. Because you catch them off guard, they be like, hello. I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah. But look, we had many conversations just off that. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole goal. You know what I mean? Because you think about it, the smallest thing. We go to the clubs and go to bars and go to this different functions, right? Go to the mall. If you don't get nobody to speak to you, I'm talking about when you're free and single, that's a
Mm-hmm.
loss. That's a loss, man. If you really
Yeah.
think about it. If
Yeah.
you really, I'm not talking about getting a number. A number is frosting on the cake, but acknowledgement, acknowledging who you are as a
Yeah.
person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's
A lot
just
of
people.
that's what now?
That's just people being cordial, man. That's proper etiquette, man. You speak, man. Especially if I'm when I was younger and I see an older person,
Yeah, man.
I'm going to speak, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? That's just out of respect. I mean, you've been in this world this long, you earn that. At
Mm-hmm.
least a hello or how you doing
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's just ingrained in me. And I
Mm-hmm.
imagine all four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me
But
being raised in the South, that's you better do it. You in
I
the
agree.
South, you better do it. Yeah, they
I agree. Because, you know,
people you ain't even talking to will be looking at you strange. Oh, he walked in, didn't speak, especially us.
listen, black and white. because
Yeah.
He think he better than us.
yeah,
Yeah.
growing up in Michigan, Detroit area, right? It's a hit or miss when it came to white people speaking
Mm-hmm.
and how they acted. Now, if they interacted with our community, of course they're gonna speak. You know what I'm saying? Because the stigma has been broken down with them. And like, no, these are human beings too, right? Then coming from Pittsburgh, y'all look, y'all two know. I love Pittsburgh, right? Because it's like my second home. But you ran into some of the nastiest energy type people in Pittsburgh. I'm talking about from the white community. You go in stores, you go in different restaurants. It's like they show their disdain on their faces. You feel what I'm saying? And when I moved down south, even though we made trips to the south, the Mississippi, you know what I mean? When I moved down south in North Carolina, I was taken aback. Whether or not it's the feeling, it was genuine or not, people speaking. I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah.
But it's
And-
like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just reading this.
It's like that up north too, man. Because when I first started coming to Albion, man, I couldn't drive 20 feet down the road without somebody waving and speaking, man. And I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot drive through Albion without raising your hand at least 10 times, waving, speaking.
The smaller towns,
You know.
But I'm saying I'm talking about you have like people will not like you, but they will speak to you in North Carolina. Am I right, Keith?
Yeah.
You know they don't like you. But if
Yeah.
y'all see each other like outside, they will
Yeah.
speak. Unless y'all came to blows to y'all like enemies or something like that, but just simply don't like you, they gonna say
Yeah.
something to you.
Well, it's gonna at least be a head nod or something.
Yeah. You see what's on the screen?
Yeah.
Chat Lives Matter. He said, I blame the old dudes for resisting taking their proper places as elder. 50-year-olds when I was young conducted themselves like elder statesmen. They weren't competing with young dudes. Now, I agree with part of that. Old heads are trying to compete for these young ladies out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Real
talking
talk.
about in the single life. But Chat Lives Matter when it comes to, and please comment on this, guys. When it comes to married couples and their friends, they're still elder statesmen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Damon, what you think?
I think you kind of blew my mind when you say these old cats be trying to compete and all that shit. I'm like, really? It's real difficult to understand these young people nowadays, man. But there's always a certain amount of people in this population, man, that take that responsibility, and then there's other people who don't, man. They just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. Somebody's older than me that I assume is older than me, I speak. If I see a young cat I know doing something silly, I say, "Hey, man, can I hide you for a minute?" And go through the whole motion. I mean, there's still a lot of us out there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us feel like we ain't being heard, so it kind of, fall off. But it still happens.
Keith, what do you think?
Yeah, a lot of, I was gonna say, the younger generation, well, generation after ours, especially since we started communicating through computers and stuff like that, our social skills fell off anyway. So back then we didn't have any choice but to speak, shake hands, eye contact, all the stuff we were talking about. You had to do that. That was just communicating. So it may be, I did have older men that would tell me how to greet as a man, how to greet another man, and then how to greet a woman and everything like that. So no man in the house, or no uh male role model in a lot of cases to teach them, and they were learning stuff off TV or off. I think that's got a lot to do with it now,
Okay.
because I was just talking to a female yesterday, and I was telling her about how you can talk to someone over the phone. I mean, over text and all this other stuff, and then when you finally meet face to face, it's awkward as hell. Because now you seeing them. So now the conversation, you on the phone, you were talking 3 or 4 hours. Now you're sitting in there, all you hear is cheering and chewing, and the elevator music playing behind you because you at a loss for words. You know,
You say
but I'm saying that's the same thing that's going on. I think with in regards to what he was saying, why he's saying that. But as far as competing, uh, I think the younger crowd, they see it as us competing. We've been who we've always been.
It's real. It's real. Yeah, but look, when we know where to go get the grapes from, we're gonna go to the grapes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're gonna get the fresh ones if we can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Jaquari.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of us, man, a
what
lot
up,
of
Cuzzo?
what's going on, Phil? A lot of older heads from like my generation, man. We understand the need for that kind of communication, but I don't know if it was explained completely. Why it should exist. I think anybody past, say, our father's generation, in regards, to parenting and fatherhood, they took the time to impart those lessons on it. This is why you speak to everybody before to it. This is why you stand in the presence of of a woman. Tradition. This is why you conduct yourself in a certain manner, as a man. But as Keith said, as KB said, when Dad's not there, whose job is it to teach these young men? It's our job to teach these young men.
Mhm.
If you have a relationship, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, even no, it's just a relationship's not always necessary. I can come into a room, man, with popular people. I've done it before. Come into a room
Mhm.
with popular people, and by the way I greet people, like I said, when I'm at work, I touch everybody, every man, and every young man's hand in that building every day. I've been doing it for the last 10 years. And I've
Mhm.
had people ask me why. And that's yeah. I'm definitely interested in how your day is going as a person. But considering the environment, when I shake your hand, you'll tell me the whole story. You know,
Mhm.
if depending on how tense or relaxed you may be, or the tone of your voice, those micro gestures or whatever, you gotta learn to pick up on those. And you guys, KB and Keith, being in law enforcement, were probably unconsciously experts at that, checking temperatures and such. But what was the person's name? Chat lives matter. I tend to
Mhm.
agree to a certain extent. Man. I tend
I
to agree.
Mhm.
great
Yeah.
great point. Great point.
Yeah.
You had some great points in there. I think
Mhm.
the last part of it is not every old head's gonna compete with a youngin. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I
Not,
was thinking, bro.
you know, they're not gonna compete with a youngin, man, because look, they can't. You know what I'm saying? So if they
Nah,
in that,
look,
if they in that younger pool, they looking for a babysitter. Watch them nap.
listen, it is a such thing as an old fool, lady.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chat
Come
said,
on, man.
you don't even have to speak to influence. It can just be the way that you carry yourself. People are always looking at us as examples on how to be, consciously and subconsciously. That's some real talk right there, brother. Real talk.
Mhm.
I think it just came to me, so I want to just touch on this a little bit. Keith, I'm going to save you for last, but I want Damien Jaquari to answer this question first. Who is, between the mother and the father, who is the most, should be the most influential on how to raise a son to treat a woman? And we'll start with you, Damon, and then you, Jaquari.
Who should be the most influential?
Yeah. And Damon, before you go, I'm talking about in treatment and in dating and socializing, the whole gamut.
For me, it was our father. For me,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? It was him. I mean, he taught him and my uncle, our uncles. You know what I'm saying? They taught you how to be, how to conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? Carry yourself, your stature. You know what I'm saying? Your confidence, all that. Yeah. You know, and the moms, they were just concerned about the choices that you make. You know what I'm saying? So
Good point. Good point.
that's how it was for me. That was my experience.
Jaquari.
Yeah, I could agree. With Damon, for the most part. But when I think about how mom influenced me in regards to the woman I married or whatever. In some regards, she's exactly like mom. She there's a certain way she conducts herself in situations or whatever. Her success, not only at work but in interactive period. It reminded me of how successful mom was. She could come into a room and figure things out. Not only figure things out, but often had solutions to those, solutions to issues or whatever. That was a great influence on me as far as mom was concerned. But when I think about how pop influenced me, man, it was all about me presenting my best self, and knowing that's going to attract what I want. I never went through a whole lot of identity crisis when it came to my interactions with the opposite sex. I might have been shy, but I always knew what my goal was. I always understood what not necessarily female nature was, but human nature was. But if you treat anybody shitty, they're gonna
Reciprocate.
reject.
Yeah,
They're gonna reciprocate. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Keith, I purposely said you for last for the simple fact that you're single. The three of us, we're married. So you probably
Mhm.
would have a different view of the question. But
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely know it's us as men, especially with daughters. We're gonna we teaching them their boundaries. We
Mm,
teach them the boundaries. And the last person I was dating, she had a daughter, and I was always teach her that. But what I would do, even if all of us was out, and say if Mama was salty or whatever, I would always open her door, the daughter. I'd open her door, let her get in, and it was an expectation. If we go out somewhere and it was just she and I, that's what it was. I'd hold doors for her. I'd hold chairs up, slide a chair in for her, and I'd explain to her, this is the expectation that one day you're going to be, and young men will be interested in you. You'll be interested in them. I said, and this, if they don't treat you this way, if they don't have this level of respect for you, walk away. I said, I should not be treating you with more respect than they do.
Gotcha.
Don't settle. And so it was funny. And then I think when y'all were talking, I was thinking about her because she would, it's been some times where her mom would come out and just go over there and she'd be like, I got my door. I got my door. And I walk past her and open the back door. So baby girl stand there and wait. She wouldn't get in the car. Her mama asked her, why are you standing there? Get in the car. She waiting for me. So I believe it stuck.
I mean, you know, this small
But
things do though, bro. Yeah.
yeah, but now I definitely, that's what these
Okay, now that you
young ladies do.
talked about the little girls. Talk about the men. I'm saying to you, which so you touched on it, saying that the men wasn't, but
Oh yeah.
elaborate a little more. I
Yeah,
know you tried to do it by how you did it, but let
yeah.
the words as far as how you see men's roles. You see what I'm saying? It was
Okay.
great response. It's just,
hmm
just give us a little bit more.
Okay. Well, I said, yeah, to give on the boys that I raised the boys too. And that's what I gave them. I said, you one day are gonna have your own family. And I said, you watch what I do. I said, and I try to do things to set an example for you, to show you, because I would do the same thing for their mom. And I would try to treat her a way that was an example for them. And even to the extent, if I was out of line, I would apologize to her in front of them and apologize to them and explain to them how I was wrong. One being, I'm not your biological dad. So at some point, you thinking you this dude, you a dude my mama dated. So I owe you that, the apology and an explanation, and to not do that again, correct it.
Gotcha.
But that's real important with them, teaching them how to be a protector and how they can sometimes, I explain to them, sometimes you can be put in a spot where you're going to have to put bass in your voice, man. You're going to have to be a little aggressive, but it's a way to do it. It's a respectful way to do it. So those lessons are real important, to teach them how to do it, explain it to them, then make them explain it to me, make sure they got it, and then lead by example.
You know, the reality is, man, or I perceive the reality to be, man, that men, we operate from a place of ownership.
Right.
Okay, and as archaic and caveman as it sounds, man, our households, and everybody in our households they belong to us.
Yeah.
And when we set a standard, then that's what it is. A lot of times, some men miss the mark with their standard or whatever. That's not my place to judge. I'm saying, the protective nature, the guardianship, the custodial nature in which we conduct ourselves within our families and households. That's the way men are defined, territorial. I
Mm-hmm.
treat yours good because I have an expectation for you to treat mine good.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Keith.
No, I was disagreeing. I was saying, yeah.
I think where it came from, I was on surfing social media a couple of days ago, right? And this man, he was talking about single mothers, the state of dating these days, right? And I'm speaking extremes when I say that, where the woman expects you to empty your coffers just to date her, right? And really overpay just for companionship. And you have not done anything. But like I said, this is extreme that's been put in our faces, right? This man said, these same women who have this expectation, right, do not raise their sons the same way. And the example what he gave was, he said, yeah, your son work at McDonald's, right? And he come home one day and say, yeah, I just spent my whole check on Tiffany's and bought her a bracelet. He said, that mama smacked and said, you damn fool, why would you do that? And he said, and he used that as an example. And I thought he was trying to be funny. He was being funny and serious at the same time. But that's kind of reality, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you raising your son to say, yo, look, don't be a sucker. And I'm talking about single moms. Don't be a sucker. Don't get out here because that's all she has. She wants to protect him in a certain way. Don't be a sucker for these women. But then you start dating. Hey man, I need this light bill paid. I need this paid. What have you done for me lately? Now, like I said, folks, this is all the extreme stuff, right? Because as a whole, it's not like that. I don't know why people think because we see something. Well, I know why they do it, but we see something that's that is more of a skit. You know what I mean? Trying to get the clickbaits and trying to go viral. We see these women saying these things, right? No, the majority of women don't say that. Now, are they having the bigger expectations? I think so. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
I think they do it according to how much investment they put in the situation. You know what I'm saying? I think, and some people might be delusional in that regard, but people cherish the time they put in. You know what I'm saying? So they have an expectation.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? They have an expectation. So, and then you got ones who think they're holier than thou and be trying to pimp them. But not in a normal situation, I think it's give and take. And I think that he's absolutely right. Ain't no woman is like, just using our own mother for an example. She expected us to have a certain woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. Mothers is just like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Ja'Quar, what you think?
I think the flip side of that coin, man. Now, it's that the example that he gave, is absolutely hilarious, man. I agree with it a lot, man. But and considering the fact, consider the fact that I haven't been in a dating pool for damn 20 years, man. But when a man is dating and he keeps hitting what he perceives to be brick walls and stuff. People, well, she's a gold digger. She's looking for a handout and so and so and such and such. Okay, yeah, that may be the case, but I think that gentleman also needs to consider the fact that every Friday night, he bellying up to the bar with with his partners or whatever, dropping $200, buying drinks for everybody. I don't see the difference. If you out having a good time, spending money, the payoff is a lot more lucrative when you're dating as opposed to just hanging out with the boys. So if you're gonna drop the cash, drop the cash. Now I'm not encouraging anybody to be a paymaster by any stretch. But if you're gonna go out and spend the money, don't don't hold that double standard.
I mean,
Let me ask y'all this.
let Damon, let Keith comment on this, and then you go. Finish the part, then Keith, you go.
I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say hanging out with your friends and spending money is a waste, but going out on a date and spending the money. I mean, the chances of the payoff is there.
Right. Go ahead, Keith, what do you think, man? Being the only single man up here, what do you think?
But speaking from personal experience and what I believe is been a mistake of mine is in the beginning establishing why you're doing what you're doing. So if you want to go and spend some money, I mean, you can do that, but it needs to be clear why I'm doing this and let them know, okay, look, it may kill the whole vibe, romantic vibe, but look, I'm giving you, I ain't whipped.
It's like a
I'm
prenup,
nice. I want to do something nice for you. Here you go. Here's some earrings. Here's some diamond earrings I want to
Throwing
give
out
you
disclaimers.
because
Go ahead.
I'm nice. This ain't gonna happen often. You didn't talk me into nothing. You didn't touch me in no kind of way to make this happen. This is something I didn't want to do out of kindness. And that way, you won't start asking me for stupid stuff. That's what should happen initially. That's what should happen initially, because they'll get the impression, okay, well, let me see what I can get out of this dude.
Gotcha.
And then that's when the nonsense starts. Because there's no clarity, no boundaries set, I guess.
Gotcha.
And if I could add, just bear with me, man. But it's a lot of energy being put towards keeping dudes from being a sucker in love or whatever. I would argue that the heartbreak is an absolutely necessary thing that has got to happen, man.
Got to be early though. Got to be early.
I mean, it don't matter when it happens. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn something from it.
You will learn something.
It depends.
Yeah, but you don't want to. Yeah. You don't want to pile on the grief, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, if the grief gets piled up, then that's your fault because you ain't supposed to.
It'll make you better.
No. You pile on the grief and it catch fire. There ain't no water putting it out. But Damon, hey Damon, what was you gonna say?
Yeah. No, what I was gonna say was Travis Hunter. Now y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard this, man. And I don't want to spread no negativity or no lies or whatever. But did him and his wife get a divorce?
I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't heard that.
Okay. I heard that they got a divorce. Now, see, that's what make a mother, you know what I'm saying, teach her son certain things. If that's the true situation.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It's too early though. They can get it annulled because they just got married. So it's not
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they can get it annulled. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Dan.
I'm just saying, and like you were speaking to the extremes. That's an extreme situation, man, when you can see a mother saying, no, yes, no, maybe, don't even mess around. You know what I'm saying? You can see a mother doing that. And plus, doing her thing too. All about expectations. Yeah. But if that's true about my man, that's a sad situation, bro. For real.
Yeah.
And it just it's ironic that we're talking about this type of situation, and I remember I was told this. Allegedly, they had divorced. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I hope not, because he don't need a distraction like that.
Oh man,
he really don't. Yeah. But you know what?
Hey.
Here's the crazy thing about it is my only take on it is everybody tripping because she caught him when he was a youngin'. when he was a little scarecrow who was talented. And what she did was she made him feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And he wanted to repair by giving her his love. That's what it is, man. This is why I'm like, man, oh, he a sucker. No, he ain't a sucker. That woman gave him, if had he been patient for maybe another 6 months or so, he wouldn't be in that position. But he had this older woman, I think she's a couple years older than him, older girl who was popular in that area, right? Who was in videos and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like she saw her brother made her see him. You know what I'm saying? And then what he did was throw that young back into the situation. And she said, well, look, I'm gonna keep him around for a while. And then if he becomes famous, you know what I'm saying? She just don't know how to talk in public.
Man.
No, I'm not making excuses for her. My point is, you listen to her. When she should stop, she don't. Like when she said, "Oh, I wasn't when she first popped on, I wasn't attracted to him at all," and she had her nose curled up. Like, motherfucker, you reaping it. He's making you they made $500,000 on their channel together, and you gonna say that to try to save face? Foolishness.
Excuse my language, man, but that's playing games like that, brother. This is a one in a lifetime talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This brother is gonna be around for a long time, but after his career. You know what I'm saying?
Before we move,
and you on the grandstand?
I know.
You on the grandstand? Okay.
Flute, I'm gonna ask you this. Let's flip it. Let's have some fun with this. Let's flip it because we seen the flip side where these starlets had some straight up bum ass motherfuckers, right? And they like, but damn, why is she? What did she see in this guy? You feel what I'm saying? We see that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but to mention it, man, that's as bad as pocket watching, man. You can't do that, man. You never know what about this person move that other person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what you think, Dana?
I think, man, not making no excuses for the brother, but he was young. If that situation happened like you described, young dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find his way. I ain't making no excuses for nobody. I'm just saying, in that situation, the man needed his parents. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Needed his parents, man. Or his parents went around, his auntie, somebody. You know. It's unfortunate though, man.
I got you. Any things because we're gonna change it up a little bit. Any last things before we change it up a little bit?
I'll just say, man, in closing, man, that it's unfortunate as it may seem to be, whether it is good or bad. The lesson he hopefully will learn from the situation will last him longer than the money.
Okay. Keith?
Yeah, I don't know, but he may have one of those mothers that he don't know about it, but at some point in time, she went and had a conversation with that young lady and was like, look, that's my son. Let me explain something to you. He's happy. I'm happy. If you get in his head and you stop fucking up the bag and all this other stuff, me and you gonna have a damn problem.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say to you.
Luke, one quick note.
I agree. I mean, a mother can be that. Hey, look here. I know what you did.
Yeah, I'm watching.
and I
I'm
know
right
who
here.
you did it with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what he need, bro.
One of the mama things like, I know you ain't shit, but he love you.
Yeah, that behind the scene.
Okay, and we gonna put up with your ass until we can't.
That-
Oh man, it's
I'm like
crazy.
that. Let that man be in love.
I
Trust me,
know,
you
man.
hold.
I'm sorry I even brought it up, man, because it ain't none of my business. And hey, people got they got their own trials and tribulations, man.
Yeah.
But just to
All right.
touch on that, I remember years ago when they interviewed Michael Jordan, and he was like young. I mean, he was new with the Bulls, and they were asking him how was he feeling with the newfound fame and everything, and he said, "Well, it's still." He said, "I still haven't gotten used to it." He said, "Like I'll go back home, and it's," he said, "like girls and stuff, they'll come and they just all over me. They speaking, and these girls wouldn't even speak to me and give me the time of day." And he had me laughing. He said, "I was like, well, what in the world's going on?" He said, "Hey, it's me. It's Peas." He do his nickname was Peas. He was, "It's me. It's Peas. What y'all on me for?"
Ah, okay. Let's change it up a little bit because I wanna especially just get your opinion about this in chat. Please feel free to chime in on this. This question is a setup for the second question, right? We'll start with Juju Quarry. What is the difference between belief and knowledge?
The difference between belief and knowledge is the fact that any belief you have, it can be shaken, chapped. Okay, do I believe in God or do I know God exists? I've had too many examples in my life to know that there's higher power in my life, and so at some point it's guiding. So I know that God is. You know, the difference between knowledge and belief, knowledge is concrete, but belief says that even though I claim to stand on this particular thing, if I hear something that suits me a little bit better, then uh, I'm not ashamed to move on to that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. A follow-up question, real quick. Which do you depend on the most? Your
Uh,
belief or your knowledge?
I think it was Socrates that said, the smartest man I ever knew in my life claiming on nothing at all. So if it wasn't him, then give my
Say that
opinion
again.
on
Technically, it wasn't him because he stole it from Africa. But go ahead.
Right.
Say
I
it.
think
More,
the same thing.
more than likely, absolutely. But yeah, it was an ancient Greek philosopher, Greek philosopher, I believe, said, the
Mhm.
smartest man I knew claimed to know nothing at all. I forget where I thought, where I heard the quote, but to me that means, yeah, there's certain things that I can prove through science and books and such or whatever. But you if you haven't lived and felt your way through a situation, you don't know how to know how to conduct yourself. Like you go to any corporation in America over the last 10 years, and they probably all developed what they call active shooter protocol. And in theory, these methods work, and you can drill and drill and drill and drill and drill, but when showtime comes, you have absolutely no way of knowing how you're gonna conduct yourself in this situation. You gotta live. You gotta be able to touch things as you're walking through.
Okay. Okay. Keith, what's the difference?
Okay.
What's the difference between belief and knowledge?
Yes, my definition of it. My belief is my opinion based more off of my emotions. I feel and I believe something because I feel this way. My knowledge it's been fact checked.
Mhm.
It's been fact checked. So knowledge is usually something I probably experienced to some level, or at least witnessed it. Uh, that's the short answer for the definition between belief and the knowledge.
Okay. What do you depend on the most? Or is it a
Uh,
blend? Is it a blend of the two? I should have said that with you, Jaquari, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Mine is kind of interchangeable because I'll use knowledge to fact check my belief. So, which I also use the knowledge is what feeds I use my logic. That's really what I depend on. But the knowledge is what really feeds my logic, feeds the knowledge, and I fact check any belief I have. So if it's anything I hear, or if it's something that it's an idea, I see it, and I'm like, well, I believe that's whatever. I'll fact check it off my knowledge, off my logic, and then what I get from that's what I use as my knowledge, if that makes sense.
okay.
So I use them interchangeably. But if you just going straight off your beliefs, you, in my opinion, you emotionally live. You
Yeah.
because you could look at me, I could come up here on this show and y'all just kind of sit there and listen to me, and I can believe, man, I'm fucking up. I don't, they ain't even really responding. And you could just be sitting there listening, but my beliefs got my emotions, got me believing something,
Ah, I got you.
opposed to my knowledge. Hey, they listening.
Okay, so you brought us home because I was like, well, where was this one going? But
Yeah.
yeah, I understand now, bro. No. Damon, two great points so far, man. What's the difference? What you say, man?
No, go ahead.
You was gonna say, ask that question again. What you get?
Okay, the clown fluky prelude is happening right now.
No, because this is what we were talking about earlier before we even went live. That's why it was funny. But you ready?
Yeah.
What's the difference between belief and knowledge? What do you think the difference is?
I think belief is something that I'm passionate about, and I want to incorporate in my life and live by and all that stuff. And knowledge is something that fact checks it. You know what I'm saying? So I can gain wisdom. Learn from it and say, okay, maybe it requires more belief. Maybe it requires more faith, as opposed to just being analytical and saying there's only one answer to this. I don't want to just have one answer.
Great point. Great point. Great point. What do you lean? What is it? You lean on one or the other, or do you blend them?
It's even. I blend it and it's even, but I lean heavy towards belief because my surroundings and all that and what I see and whatever is kind of dismal. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to keep faith, man, when you're just looking at negativity all day long. So you have to explore something.
That's real. That's real. Okay. Okay. And I pretty much feel the same way you guys feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Any last things before we move into this next question, this next topic? Because this actually goes along with what I'm getting ready to ask you guys.
I'm gonna say, is it safe to say that it could be healthy to if your beliefs are based off of your knowledge,
You
what
know
you
what?
believe is based off your knowledge.
I think
opposed to the other way around?
your belief. I mean, that's a good question, fair question. Your belief has to be flexible because knowledge reinforces it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like knowledge, living is knowledge.
Right.
Can we agree on that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Living, working day to day, and also reading and really experiencing other people. That's knowledge that's being brought to you. You know?
Right.
Well, my thing is this here. I have the belief, man, that these next 3.5 years is going to go by fast as hell, man. It's going to be like a blur down the pike, man. I forget, or it's going to take its time and drag the hell on. There's going to be drama after drama and bullshit after bullshit.
Yeah.
See the difference?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great.
I'm just telling you, bro.
It's sad to say all of those things are true. On some level, all that's true for all of us. But
This next topic, I'm counting on you guys to be historians, number one, and then also realistic conceivers of the future. If you understand what I'm saying. When I say realistic conceivers of the future, it's like once you guys hear the question, which you already know, but once you hear the question, the chat hear the question, being realistic about the future, you know, and so is a fanciful thing, you know what I mean? But no, it ain't fantasy. It's just if you get put on an even page. I saw something just to set it up. I saw something on social media again. You know, I surfed through just to get my mind wrapped around what I want to talk about with you guys, right? If you guys don't give me questions, I try to search something that we all can have bite into, right? And I saw something where a guy, he was one of I forget this man's name, but he's one of those street preachers, no prophets, prophets. You know what I'm talking about? Where you stand by, you know, you be there with the you know, just talking about the Bible, talking about different things, right? And he said, you know, the difference between us and the Native Americans. And some folks said, well, we was here first. And he said, hey, forget about that, because that don't mean anything. The difference between us and the Native Americans is when the Native Americans, when they went into treaty because of war and all this, they asked for their own lands. And the United States government put them on reservations. Some of these reservations were horrible. Some of them was hunting tribes, and they didn't know how to grow, but they would put them in the middle of the desert, you know, going, you know, out west, right? They asked for their own lands, right? He said, what we did, we asked the United States to be a part of the United States. He said, that's where the mistake was made, right? So I thought about whether or not I agreed, disagreed, how it affected me, right? So this where the question formed for me. The question was, when you think of us as a community, if we asked and received our separate lands, right, after the Civil War, not to be a part of the United States, but to have our own separate lands, right, would we have prospered? You can answer that question first. Let it sink in. Would we have prospered if we asked for our own lands and be a separate part? Because The United States, other than labor, didn't want any part of us as a community, right? So if we had Reconstruction in which our community prospered, but then Andrew Jackson came in and rescinded all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the next president did it too after Andrew Jackson. And General Sherman was the one who promised 40 acres and a mule, and he was putting it in effect until Andrew Jackson reversed it. Right? Is it Andrew Jackson? Well, I'm not sure, but no, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure of that. But he reversed it. So, had we asked and received our own separate lands, as the Native Americans did, but see, the Native Americans were conquered, so they were victimized and then put on unproductive land. So, that's the state that they're in, right? Had we received our plot, say in the plain states, in the upper Midwest, in wherever, would we have prospered? I'll give you kind of, and just try to elaborate. I know it's a far-fetching question, right? It's a far-fetching question, and there's a lot to it, right? But as best you can, you see, I'm giving you a little time to let it soak and marinate. You know what I mean? And we will start with you, Damon.
I think that as far as black people getting the 40 acres and a mule, it didn't happen for whatever reason, who didn't ratify it, whatever the case may be. But after the Civil War, during a period of time, black people did this, build cities and towns and stuff like that. It did happen, and it happened from scratch. They didn't get any support in that regard. So we as African Americans, or black people, I like to say, we experienced some of that at the very beginning. Where we messed up is in the 50s and 60s when we wanted to integrate. But before that, we had our own separate everything.
We didn't have no choice.
We had no choice, and we built it ourselves with our own hands. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we needed was to be separate from our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? Separate from our oppressors, and then we went over here. We built our own things. It wasn't the land was not allocated through the government or none of that. It was land that nobody knew about, or nobody wanted, and we made it work. Once it started working, we built our own industries and all that stuff. They came through and they burned all that shit down. So we do have some experience on what it feels like to be independent and prosperous. You know what I'm saying? In spite of. But now, I think we would be more organized. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we would be more apt to defend what we have. You know what I'm saying? Without worrying about no marauders or no hooded whoever coming through doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the point I'm making is that we know to a certain extent, prosperity. And I think that we do great. I think with all the different African countries and stuff like that we can do things with, trade and all that stuff, I think we'll prosper. I think we do great.
Okay. Jaquari.
Yeah, I mean, Damon pretty much covered the answer sufficiently. I think, I mean, you think of all the examples of, like places in Oklahoma, and look at Rosewood, Rosewood was a swamp. Was a swamp, and you know they left black people alone to their own devices or whatever, and they prospered. And people didn't like that. And you know, look what happened. What was that in Philadelphia in the '80s? You know, that was government sanctioned. They murdered those people. A black man
When
sanctioned
they
sanctioned.
bomb them joints.
Yeah,
Bomb move, yeah.
yeah, move. A black man sanctioned that. So I mean, as far as us and prosperity, man. You know, we're always on the cutting edge of it. You know,
Huh.
in regards to ingenuity, in regards to the manpower, the sweat of your brow, or whatever. The only thing we ever always truly lacked was resources. If we could get sourced from other countries and still have a place in this country, because we don't know where we come from, as a people. But if we could get resources from outside countries, and the space, and the privacy to build our own community, I think we'd be highly successful.
Sure.
And,
Okay.
and as far as the Native Americans, I mean, they they were here. Whether they were the first ones here or not, it's not really relevant to the question. The fact is, they were here, and they were asking for, yeah, you kicking me out the house or whatever. I understand that. Can I have the basement?
But and that, not to cut you off, but see, that's the thing. That's after a defeat. They did not. They were a defeated nation. So they was like, well, what you want? Hey man, look, if you don't want us to rise up again, whether or not it's a debate nowadays whether or not us as dark skinned people were here first and all of that.
Yeah.
I understand that. It is what it is. I get that. But we're talking about the history of what's going on, right? And they were defeated. So when so they wouldn't uprise anymore. Hey, we'll give you this if you don't do this again. You know what I mean? I'm simplifying it, and really and truly, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. Native Americans gone through a lot. We went through a whole hell of a lot. But I'm just rattling on. Keith, what do you think?
Yes, we would have prospered, and I think what I've learned through studying, I guess, over the years, is that there was a lot. You just touched it. There was a lot of by the natives and stuff that was here. They were dealing with the conquerors, or whatever you want to call them. That they were having trouble with all of the rebellions and stuff because you're dealing with people that's home. They home.
Yeah,
So they thought, well, we need someone that's not home that can come over here and they can do these tasks that we need them to do. So when they went over there on those slave ships, they weren't just going over there grabbing people. These people they were grabbing, our ancestors, they were skilled people. They were holistic healers. They were farmers. They could read the moon and the stars and predict when to grow crops. They know how to rotate crops. They were skilled people. So they were handpicking a certain group of people.
yeah,
So these same group of people, remember who they were sold by? Africans. They were sold African Arabs who had already enslaved these people. So they weren't free running around. They had their own little area. So they were like, hey, we got some people over here. You give us some money, we make a deal. I can get you a group of people to help you do what you're trying to do. So so first of all, they minimize it. Instead of they say, well, yeah, they were blacks, they were slaves. they sent slaves. No, you went over there and got some skilled people to come over here
I
so
see
you
what you're
could
saying.
build this country that you have now. You didn't bring them over and teach them shit. They already knew how to do that when they got here. That's why you went to
Right.
get them.
I,
And you
I,
scattered them all over the place. You had some in the Caribbean where you
yeah,
trained some, but they had them here too. And once they got them here, they had to be so hard on them because they didn't want them mingling with the natives so they could get them hip to the game and add to the rebellion. It's a whole, it's deep.
I mean,
So the short answer is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, just to comment on what you just commented on. No, I want you to finish because I have something to say about a certain thing that you said. But go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, they would have prospered and they showed it. I think like Marcus was saying in the comments earlier, like in Wilmington and all that. Wilmington, shoot, they had the coast. The
They
port
did.
they got down in there, they had that.
They did.
They want us to have it. Now we can
Durham,
export and yeah,
North Carolina. Yes, sir.
yeah.
They
So we
they
had
had riots there too. You know.
right. So the divide and conquer thing was over. They didn't want them mingling with the natives that were already here. Little to them, they didn't know that the natives that were here were our people too.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of we scattered all over the world
It's,
thanks to the slave trade.
I think the
If
one thing
if I
I,
had me a if I had me a time machine, I'd go back to that Indian who sold Manhattan for $12.
26 now.
Do you know what the market price of Manhattan is now? You'd
Yeah.
ask for a whole lot more money.
I think what most the misconception
Oh, I'm just kidding.
the misconception of, and you touched on it, Keith, the misconception of slaves
hmm
were they were the folks who got whipped from 16 hours a day,
Yeah.
right? But the one thing about it was they were the ones who knew how to grow the cotton. They were the ones who knew how to grow the tobacco.
Yeah.
They knew how to do these things. Like you have to understand, like the skilled labor. See, do yourself a favor, man. When you're bored, go to go scroll through Pat Pending, especially in
Pat
the early
pending.
years. You know, the patent office through the
Okay.
early years. You understand what I'm saying? Go through that and see how many black men and women that have patents through the government. And we're not going to talk
Absolutely.
about the ones that were stolen. See,
Yes.
what's the biggest lie was we were a burden after the Civil War, but we were subjugated and brutalized because we were a valuable resource, not for our backs, but for our brains.
Yes.
Understanding the earth, understanding how to be carpenters, how to, you understand what I'm saying? Builders, all these
Yes.
different things, man.
See,
Yes.
and you know what's crazy about that is they see people in an ignorant way think that coming from Africa, they was living in huts and all this stuff, which wasn't true. They were architects, they were everything. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they were so gung-ho about getting those learned Africans over here, not only because of their skill set, but because of their genetics, man. You know what I'm saying? They were able to overcome certain diseases and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Their bloodline was strong. You know, it wasn't, they wasn't dying off from smallpox. Antibodies kicked in and they survived. You know what I'm saying? Just giving it a small example.
hmm
Plus the melanin. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole lot of physical factors that played into that too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the knowledge, but hey, these people, they survived in all kind of geographical areas and stuff. So they were durable, put it that way, intelligent and durable.
Okay.
See,
Well,
see, something I want to point out. A lot of the evidence is right in our face, and we kind of browse past it because we're distracted. But just, I went to Charleston, South Carolina, and I went down and I was looking at some of those uh, plantations. I was going around touring, looking at these plantations, and it popped in my head because they were talking about in this area was this, and it's gone now. The storms came through, and it blew these trees down, or this garden over here is not here anymore, or something. And every structure that I looked at that they said was built by slaves is standing.
yeah,
Wood, nails, bricks, and mortar.
yeah.
That wind and water to knock all this other stuff down, or it's gone. They talking about where it used to be as markers.
Right.
Slave quarters still sitting there.
I mean, you have to understand, man. That, if you look at, of course, there were folks in the continent in different countries that had the simple nomad life and just farmers and
Yeah,
cattle herders. That's what they did. But damn, if
right.
you go to Mozambique, if you go to Ethiopia, you know what I'm saying? You go to
Yes,
Kenya and you see these structures.
yes.
Did they get there by accident?
Yeah, you said how they get that big stone up
Oh,
there?
I know
Yeah,
what they're saying. They're saying that spacemen came and created,
yeah,
Put the Olmec heads down there.
you
yeah.
know. So, my point is, not to. What I want y'all to do, and I'm gonna give examples, and you tell me if it's realistic or not, because I was just jotting down some things from the question that I posed, right? If we had asked for land, where would we prosper? Well, you gotta think about it. With land comes generational wealth. Land is the biggest thing in this country. Owning property, owning land.
Yes.
I mean, imagine, say, and it depends where we were sent. Where what plot that we were given. Because if they
Hmm.
gave us something in the plain state, hell, that we would build it into a separate nation because of the fertile ground. We wouldn't have stripped it away. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Over farmed and stripped it away, and it became the Dust Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
land equals generational wealth, land ownership. You know what I'm saying? And it gave you something. And somebody mentioned Rosewood and Black Wall Street and Wilmington and different places like that. You know what I mean? You know, the second thing, less economic dependence. And what do that correlate? Not depending on the government as much because you in the community are in positions to be able to eke out a living and prosper. Not everybody would prosper, but as a
Ran
community,
away,
yes, sir.
leaving a bad situation.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
gotta
Ran
understand. You,
away.
you gotta you gotta understand what you're dealing with. You know, when you think about the government as an entity, man. I mean, there's a reason why uh, the Native Americans were moved off their land, for instance, or whatever, because that was land that the government didn't have to explore. They already knew the potential of that. The live, the wildlife, growth potential of the land and everything. So they didn't have to send a Lewis and Clark out to certain places or whatever to explore and risk their lives or whatever. All we got to do is go take it. We
But
know
but
we know they we know we can grow there. We know
Mhm.
but this
we
is
know
my
there's
point,
animals enough.
when they opened up what was the Oregon Trail, when they opened it up and everybody is in every movie where they going down, they with the wagons and going staking.
That was Oklahoma. I think that was Oklahoma.
No, but this is what I'm
Mhm.
saying though. This West how the West was won, that type of shit, right? You gotta think about it, right? You talk about the political and cultural autonomy, meaning that if you have the generational wealth and you have a sense of community, what's the next thing that you bring? You bring a fighting force, right? Now, one thing you have to point out, in the time of slavery, the folks who were enslaved outnumbered, it was what, 3 million slaves? Lack of a better number, but they outnumbered all the whites in the South. They outnumbered them. This is why the
Yeah,
horrible
that's what they were nervous about.
and all of that.
That's why divide and conquer was so
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
Don't let them know that. Don't let us know that we outnumber them.
And I think
We don't want no one to explain to them how important a ship, the same thing brought you over here, can take you away.
I mean, that's just a simple
We
thing,
had the
right?
people. You can build your own ships.
But just to finish my point real quick, O'Keefe,
Hmm.
there's a reason why America being just as big or larger than Europe is unified under one flag. If you go to Europe, you can go to England, France, Germany, whatever, and all of these countries are in some regards as big as our state, or not even
Hmm.
as big or not even as big as our state. But
That's what
why
I've
was
heard.
that? Yeah. So why? No, not why. How did America uh, keep that from happening? How did America?
Terrorism.
It, yeah. How did America keep keep the concept of principality out of this country? By a strong air quotes strong government hand. And anytime a part of the populace started to outgrow another part of the populace, especially a rural part of the populace, and anytime they got a foothold and reached a certain point of prosperity, the American government they quashed it because
Yeah.
they did not want and do not want individual principalities. That's why when Texas back in the day said that they were seceding from the Union, all hell broke.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, they didn't. When they were succeeding, Texas did not get in any armed conflict with the United States. They got in an armed conflict with Mexico.
They always threatened to
And,
succeed, but they never did it.
and the United States
Yeah.
did not send forces. Now I agree on that. They
But
didn't
here,
send forces.
But historically, that wasn't my point.
But see, you understand what my question was, Duquesne. See, I understand where you were going with this, and you have a great point.
You didn't get there,
Bro, you telling me that the government was not going to let it grow into something separate, right?
Absolutely.
My thing is, it's two ways to look at it. There are communities here where they don't, through conflict, they don't bother. You understand what I'm saying to you? See, what happened to the Native Americans is they started to depend on the federal government for everything.
because they were defeated and they had no choice.
Yeah,
But
they have
but
no
You know what I'm
choice.
saying?
but my point is, they still have them
But
on the reservation, and they
I
still
don't,
are nations.
I don't even like
but
to
see
say
the
I don't
the
even like to say
fallacy.
that they were. I don't even like to say that they were defeated, man. They never stopped fighting.
They won.
They
They never,
never stop fighting.
they
I
never
agree with
stopped.
that. But
Yeah, but they was dealing with what? They were dealing with being wiped out,
whoa,
uh,
Blanks,
whoa, whoa,
illness.
whoa,
smallpox, and all that stuff.
There you go.
hold on for a
Yeah.
second. You are exactly right, because what the federal government did to the Native Americans was kill women and children.
Yeah.
They came in, and the warriors, that's fine, but what they did was, it was a practice of killing the women and children
Yes.
if they could not get the warriors, because what did that do? That wipes out bloodlines. It really does.
Right.
Right, and that was across the board. That was not
Yeah.
just Native American. That was black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was across the board. That was their policy.
That's how
Scorched
they
earth.
broke our people. Yeah.
You
Willie
know
Lynch joint.
exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. The mistake that people make is that we live in a democracy. We don't. This is a republic, man. This is not a democracy. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got what they call them? The companies put in their people to negotiate.
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists. That's what we got, lobbyists, man. And you throw money around, that's the biggest evil, money, greed. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like a monarchy, man. But they disguise it as a republic. You know what I'm saying? The senators back in Rome, the senators and the Caesars stayed on top. You know, and they gave people the illusion that they had a vote, but it's not really that. You know, it's not really what it is. Look at the electoral situation, the system. It's bullshit. How somebody in Nebraska gonna have two senators? The population don't support that shit. Man. You know what I'm saying? How the hell do we? Anytime there's an electoral cycle, Iowa leads the shit. You know what I'm saying? Is it 1 million people in Iowa?
I got
And then they go to the blue states where most of the people at, and they subsidize their life and whatever with the money that where the most people supply. You know, it's unbalanced, it's unfair, and there's no way in the hell, and this is just my opinion, that the Midwest should control the whole country. It's crazy. Because
all right,
most of the people are on the coast.
got you. So the whole premise of my actual question was to, in your eyes, I wanted to see if we would prosper, and in your eyes, what way would we prosper? Of course, in my 60 years, I've been here in the United States and understand publicly and privately how the government may come in and quash situations, individuals and groups. I get that. But my whole goal was to ask, in your hearts, had we asked for and received the plot of land just for quote unquote that plot of land for reparations, because see, in their minds, back in those days, we were not, we need being enslaved, we needed them more than they needed us.
So they thought. Yeah.
That's what they thought, but they didn't understand.
Oh, okay, that's what they thought, but that wasn't
Or
the
what,
case.
or what they wanted us to believe in a way,
But
I suppose.
that's my point. Is what do you see? To be able to look back, what do you see what we were doing? So I gave you examples about generational wealth and the autonomy period, right? Because we've been conditioned to always, and I'm speaking towards you, men, but as a community, we always been conditioned that we, without any guidance, we will fail.
Right.
which is a lie because there's so many.
Okay.
If you see corporations, right, you'll see black men and women who spearheading those corporations prospering with new ideas, with all these different things. And my question was to plant a seed on those kind of questions. Like, yeah, what would we do if the circumstances were different? We've never had time, in my last point, we've never had time to think the opposite. And on the individual wise, we have. Well, what the hell? I think, I feel, I know, I will succeed, right? But as a community, those phrases don't seem to apply. I say seem to apply because that's my view. You dig what I'm saying?
Talking about in the black community.
Yeah, our community, yes.
Okay, because as a whole, we think of us as a whole. There's humanity there, man. There's no monopolies operating, in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Do we go out with the mindset to have a stranglehold on a certain industry? You know what I'm saying? Or do we supply something for all? I mean, you can look at us as black people today in this country. Everything about us is spread all over the world. Everybody's taking advantage of it but us. You know what I'm saying? It's our humanity. It's how we built, how we see the world. Whereas the opposite, the opposing side, look at it as, how can I capitalize on it?
So
if you see a brother, you know what I'm saying, trying to monopolize something and being greedy about it, he gonna get ostracized in our community. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get ostracized. You're gonna be like, man, what type of brother is this? You know what I'm saying? Where's his humanity at? You know, we share everything. Our culture, our God, whatever it is that's ingrained in us, we share it with with everybody.
Well, we don't.
It's just so happened that other people take advantage of that.
We don't share it with each other, though.
That thing.
Well, that's another argument right
I'm
there.
not talking about. I'm not
That's
talking
by
about.
design too.
I'm not talking about with the. I'm talking about consciously sharing with each other. I'm not talking about the dog eat dog shit. I'm talking about consciously, where you have. Okay. Small example, but a great example. Our entertainers have the energy of us behind them if they are our favorite entertainers. Singers, actors, dancers, sports guys. They have our energy behind them. But when it comes to like business, is it the same energy? You see what I'm saying? I don't have an answer and I don't have an indictment on it, but I can just with my small look at this world, I can say that we don't put the same energy into businesses and things along those lines, man. We don't do it. That's my my purview, what I see.
A quick example of that is something I've seen. It's a place down in near Bunn, North Carolina, Lake Royale. It's a community. It's a lake, man-made lake they got down there, and it's a community and people live. It's a good amount of people down there, and they have a company police in the community.
Okay.
And they police. They have arrest powers and everything, but they're company police, and their jurisdiction is that community.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we can do. Have we done it? Not that I know of.
You don't see no negativity to that, though, bro?
I do.
If a corporation,
No, well, go ahead, ask your question.
If a corporation controls the law enforcement in a certain city, then everything is predicated on what that corporation wants to happen and think.
But
And
but when I'm talking about, think about it. If it's our community, the Armstrong, say the three of you, you start a community, and there's some land there, and you say, hey Keith, look, we got some land over here. You can get your acre or two. Let some more people, some more good brothers know. Get them, they come over and get some more acres, get some acres. And we build a community.
right,
But instead of depending on the Wake County Sheriff Department or somebody to enforce it, we have our own. Jacory is the community. He's the mayor of the community, and you are you're the leaders of the community, and you have a company police. So you hire your own police department to enforce your community. That will cut down on the sheriff's office or somebody just riding and patrolling. They don't have a reason to come in there. You
if
have a
everything is
if
above board, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it gives you more control because you're the head of the community. So it's a board. Your board. You're voting on who you putting them in there. So if they in there and they going left, you can cut that right off at the head. The whole
Right.
thing is your community. But my thing is, I haven't seen us do that. I've seen other people have their brag. They got gated communities, and I look who's in these gated communities, who's at the head of the HOA, who's doing all of that. And it's been working in law enforcement. We ain't have to go in there. We go in there when somebody gets shot in the ass or something. Now we in there. But other than
Especially
that, we
If you look at
especially if
like
it's private.
yeah, if you look at
right.
if you look at Native American reservations and all that, I mean they have tribal
That's right.
police
There you go.
and the common the regular law enforcement agencies in that region have no authority whatsoever.
There you go.
No
See, that's what
no
I'm talking about.
authority.
Because they're looked at as a separate nation from us, even though they don't have any commerce.
But do that apply with the FBI?
They have to they all have to have permission to come onto the reservation. They do.
Yeah, they need them. Yeah, they don't just drift in there. They have to. It's a meeting has to be held
Yeah.
Anything
for them to do anything. But I was
anything that
saying with that, and we fall right into that because if they want to go back to it, they didn't even consider us humans. So we
But you know what that was? It makes it easier to brutalize us when they do that.
right,
Oh, it's in the law. I can do this
right,
to this woman because it's in the law. No,
When they say rats or cockroaches.
yeah. So
Um,
I mean, just
we're gonna
I know. The question that you asked, bro. I hope I answered it. Because I believe I answered the question.
yeah. I mean, look, it's no right or wrong. It's beautiful speculation.
Because I took a whole lot of goddamn notes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful speculation, right?
Yeah, all the work I put in, bro. I need to. Did I answer the question? I
Because
believe so.
here's this is the kind of question it is, right? We can't go back in time to change it, right? And it's kind of along the mindset of how people feel, about our community, how much conditioning and brainwashing has affected us. You feel what I'm saying? So when I was in college, in my psychology class, right, our professor said, you are one of 10 survivors of a nuclear holocaust, right? And you're in a bunker. And y'all probably heard this before. You're in a bunker. You only have supplies for 10 days for 7 people, right? There are 5 women, 5 men. 2 of them is a little boy and a teenager. 2 men, a little boy and a teenager, right? The food was going to run out in 10 days, and it's enough for 7 people. Who do you put out the bunker?
What you do, you don't put anybody out of the bunker. But you have a conversation. You have a real conversation with people and try to figure out how to procure more resources. In the meantime, the teenage boy and the little boy, they need to be taught certain aspects of leadership. You know, even if there's a bleak chance of survival, somebody's going to have a good blueprint set in place. So, I mean,
Okay.
whatever's going to happen. I mean, we in it together. As far as putting somebody out, I'm not willing to do that.
Damon, Keith.
If we starve, we're gonna starve.
It's gonna sound like I'm trying to be funny, but I look at personalities, and the one that was, if there was one that was scheming as to who needs to be put out, put their ass out. So that's the problem.
Okay.
If he get any allies that join in with him and everything, that's who needs to be put out.
Damon.
I'm gonna last as long as I can, but I'm gonna look at the most nefarious motherfucker in there. Because, well, he gonna survive this shit. If he gonna keep the humanity going and all that, he gonna survive. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get fat, but if I'm honest, I'm gonna pick the strongest out of the group in terms of surviving the situation. If it's all out nuclear fallout and all that stuff, then I'm eating up everything, me and my babies. But if it's about survival, I'm looking at the one who's willing to do anything to survive. And that's just me being honest.
I got you. I think I was one of the ones who was arguing, if you don't have no hope, why are you throwing anybody out? If it's only 10 days worth of food, why does it matter? And I went to the professor afterwards. I was like, what the hell kind of question is this? Because I think logically, nobody in this place is going to survive unless you turn to cannibalism, but that's only going to last for too long, right? He said the question was designed to gauge where people's thinking was. People's survival instincts. He said there is no right or wrong answer to it. He said people's survival instincts and how they feel, how they gauge their prejudices, everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was young, I said, well, shit. I said, Professor, I said, it's more than 10 days worth of food in there. He said, well, how do you figure? I said, Professor, there's 5 women in there.
Yeah.
Damn.
He fell out. But I had to lighten the mood because it turned into an argument, man. The whole class was arguing about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with you. I said nothing else makes sense.
Okay. To the man, if you was in that position, what decision would you make? To the man, you know, all kidding aside.
Splitting the food, man, because we only got enough for 10 days. Why put somebody out?
Well, I'm torn is who are the people in there? The
Yeah.
people in there. Because I mean, it could be a couple of people in there. You be like, you know what, man? Your
But-
ass got to go.
But
It ain't got nothing to do with the food.
Hey,
You got to
hey,
go. I
KB,
need 10 days
I
of
ne-
peace. What I need.
hey, KB, I never liked you in the first place.
Exactly. Get your ass out of my ass to get
but then again,
But that's what it is, though.
I mean, but see that's how you see it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. No, you, Keith, I see you being fair across the board. But everybody don't think like that.
Okay, so let's look
Everybody don't follow that logic. Everybody's like, okay, how can I connive, cajole, and all that stuff? That's how people usually think, man.
Let's do this, Damon. We don't got to get no long, drawn out thing. Let's look at what I said and what you said, right? You said that you, and if you got your kids in there, was in there, you're going to eat up everything, right? But my thing is, you eat up everything, you going to die anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for that extra Snicker.
So I'm gonna die with my ribs and shit showing. Hell no.
You no,
it ain't happening.
I'm just saying if you eat it all up.
Look here, a healthy
you're gonna die
somebody
anyway. That's down the road period.
In a good healthy situation, based on what we're talking about, that person who ate good is gonna leave a monument to my ass because they was sane enough and not starving to make that monument. So whoever comes along and say, "Hey man, who was here before us?" These people who died from starvation, and these other people who ate their rations and shit.
First of all, you missed part of. I said a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, I mean,
we all dead.
That's why I answered. That's why I answered the question the way that I did. I mean, because eventually, yeah, I'm gonna leave. If things are as bleak as that, and there's no chance of survival, I'm gonna stay and let the resources run or whatever, get my share. But in the meantime, I'm not putting nobody out. I would never. I like to believe that I would never encourage somebody else's suffering to secure my comfort.
Hey, bro, I feel what you're saying, and I like to believe I'll be the same way until I heard that person eating with their mouth open and shit and smacking. And I just can't stand it, no goddamn. They got
yeah, I'm just, I don't know, human nature with me, because I mean, it's if nuclear holocaust, and I'm thinking, well, we're gonna die anyway. I mean, I want peace. I don't want it. We in the bunker, somebody over there fighting like hell over a bag of popcorn, and then you know somebody end up killing somebody, and then now we got to throw them out because they're dead, and and we all gonna die anyway. So now you spending your last 10 days or so literally cooped up in hell. I mean, you sit down and just everybody eat the food and then just chill back and just talk. And it is what it is. But if somebody's in there raising hell and chaos, okay, well, you get a head start on this. You get on out. You get on out.
Now, let me put it like this. I agree with you. If it's somebody acting a complete fool,
they get in the business
and becomes hostile to everyone else,
yeah,
they got to be dealt with. I get
you got to go, man.
I get that. Now, it was this initial question.
It wouldn't be. It still would not be proven to put that person out.
No. What I would do is chain his ass right in the corner somewhere. Hey man, go ahead and open up that popcorn and feed that motherfucker.
You can pour it, keep every time you pour it, just keep choking him out.
Or you be sizing him up.
Yeah,
talking about look at them forearms and them calves. That's dog meat right there. Got all the flavor.
I mean, in that kind of end of the world scenario, you're either an asset or a resource. Now you can cooperate. You can cooperate, or we can fatten you up, bro.
Right.
I mean, the choice is yours.
I ain't thinking about that option. With you, Decorah, I was seeing you just keep choking. Keep fucking up again. Choke him out again. Somebody choke him out again.
I hope you didn't think I was gonna be sitting around in a circle and we holding hands and humming and yoga breathing and shit. No, I mean it's gonna be ordered.
Yeah.
Be arguing with the elders, talking about, man, look at them calves. That dog meat, man, got all the flavor in it. He on the rack and don't even know it.
I will hold up a piece of paper and tell everybody, look, this here is the menu. Now you can either be reading this motherfucker or you can be on it.
Shit. God forbid I'm ever in that situation.
Man, we laughing, but if you in that situation, you gonna think about it.
Look,
man, I bet you he tender as hell. He young too, got that tender meat.
Look,
the buttocks is tender as hell.
If that meeting happens and I'm in there and they having a serious
you gonna get your poison, bro.
No, I'm the man. I'm gonna go out here with this radiation. I'm gonna take my shot.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
I'm gonna go out here and take this. I'm gonna take this chemo, man. I'm gonna go out here.
Look.
Ain't no chemo. Ain't no chemo, bro.
That dog is out there. It was nuclear blast. It's all chemo.
It's either getting full or suffering. Those are the choices.
Look, let me tell you something. After a while, especially if I ain't got no family in there, after a while, I'm gonna go take that walk like you keep. I'm gone, man. What the fuck am I sitting around here?
This is the thing, walk, man. This is the thing, man. We're all large men. In a situation like that, who do you think is first to go?
Yeah, they sizing us up.
Yeah, so within that scenario, you gonna have to exert some sort of control. And before people, drive you to be an asshole.
Look, let me tell you a funny thing.
Well, hey, at 59, I'm gonna be an asshole.
No, you be in your chair like this.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember that cartoon, man, where the bulldog was in the bed with his leg in the cast, and the cat kept coming close, and then he closed his eyes and he'd be closer and shit.
That motherfucker's eyes is all bloodshot, chicken. He's tired of the motherfucker. He's like,
no.
All you heard was that goddamn dude just moving closer to it.
Look,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
you get closer to me as Tom and Jerry. You get closer to me, I'm gonna get up. I said, you know what? I gotta murder him. I
gotta kill this. I gotta kill this man. Yeah. Hey, Flip, didn't he hit him in the foot with? Did he hit him in the foot with a goddamn 2x4 with a nail in it and shit?
But you know what though, man?
And that motherfucker eyes closed. He was closer. He was 4 inches closer. Hey, it's called survival. Only the strong will survive, baby.
No, I'm gonna tell
It
you.
is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you, and that in itself, man, where you have those kind of questions, it's hard to really imagine what you would do because some of the meekest people will become savages, man. They'll become savages.
Yes.
No doubt about it. No.
No what the situation, good or bad, man, you got to take into account human nature.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of survival scenarios, man. Often it's not the stronger people. Survive.
No, it's not. It's not.
But they practice this, man. We having a conversation.
Oh yeah,
this is a real conversation. And they
hey,
look, doomsday shelters, man. Come on, dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real funky. Hey, Spoke. Remember when your daddy jumped off that diving board and he had to grab the rope to catch his breath?
Yeah.
And what did the lifesaver say to him?
You can't grab the buoy. Don't grab the buoy. Pop was like, shit, man, look, motherfucker, if your mama was standing here, I snatch her ass in here to save my life. What are you talking about? After that,
that's said, what it is.
Yeah, after that, he says, "Folks, get your shit and let's go."
He said, "I grabbed her to save my life."
Yeah, man.
Shit, we just got to be honest with it.
All right, well, look, I appreciate I didn't do it in the early parts of it, housekeeping. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You see scroll on the bottom. We got some Cash App love if you folks feel like giving us what we're giving. And you know what? As a matter of fact, after the day, I'm taking that off. Because first and foremost, nobody's done it. Right? And I'm not saying I'm upset about it. I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm having too much fun with this situation. And I'm not trying to put no pressure on somebody, to send me their twos and pews. Fuck it. But guess what? If you throw me 20, I'm gonna put it in my pocket. And this is for our channel. So how long have I been doing this, man? With the Cash App at the bottom?
It's been short, bro. It ain't been that long. I say about 3-4 months.
Yeah, 3-4 months. So I'm, so that's 4 times a week. 4 times a month. Ain't nobody caught on, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna go to something else. How about that? Any last words before we get out of here? Eric, sister-in-law Lori, Marcus, Lawrence, Cuz, Brett Wade TV. Appreciate you. Chat Live Matter. Thank you. Thank you for participating with us, man. Y'all had some great questions. We appreciate y'all. Keep tuning in. We enjoy your support. Do us a favor, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Build our numbers up, because we want people to see what what we're talking about, because we promote communication, we promote conversation, and that's what we're about. That's where we're going. That's how we're doing this thing, right? Ladies, please message me on Facebook, call me. I want y'all to come on. You know what I mean? Sister-in-law, I'm waiting for permission from your husband before you come up on here. You know what I mean? But you can't come
I think he did that already.
You
You
can't come
get it
on
already, didn't you?
here, look, you can't come on here spitting no venom. You know, you got to be productive. But we look forward.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
You gave her that leeway, didn't you, bro?
But make sure you come through. Let us know if you want to do what you got to do. You know, make sure you want to participate on, and we're gonna be here next Friday at 7:30. You know what I'm saying? Any last words before we get out of here?
Man,
Keep your head to the sky.
I thought you were calling me.
Keep your head to the sky. Last words, Jaquari.
yeah, it's a good show, man. You know, I look forward to the next KB anytime, brother. Good
Thank
to
you. Thank you.
Keith, last words.
Yeah, I was gonna, as usual, I was gonna say thanks for having me, man. This has been awesome. And you touched the topics were great. Uh, good thing made me think, and you hit a lot of things that I think about privately, and I don't speak to people about it because stuff like this you can't just strike up in casual conversation because people either haven't put thought into it or they're not mature enough to deal with it and to have a logical conversation about it. Uh, I sit the part I'm talking about is this, like with our our folks. I see so much potential and I what we can do, and I see the stuff that we don't do, and I see the reasons, understand the reasons we don't do it. And it's like being in law enforcement, and over the years of me growing, I've seen stuff that guys, brothers do. And I'm thinking, if you would channel that effort, that dumb thing you just did, for you to sit down, wake up, and come up with a thought to just accomplish what you actually did, trying to accomplish what you were trying to accomplish. If you put that same effort
Yeah.
into doing it responsibly and getting with some other people, we could all do some great things. Because I'm seeing the potential that you have. But then when you get something going, you get bandwagoners and you get other people that just kind of snuff it out, man. And it's frustrating. I don't know how to do it. That's what frustrates me. I can think about it. I have great ideas. I listen to all of you. You have great ideas. But we come together and try to do it. It's gonna get snuffed out. It happens over and over again. It's frustrating. It's like we cursed.
Hmm.
I think I heard Malcolm X said at one time in a casual conversation on his speech that he was talking to some men. He said the thing that's unfortunate, every time we get a group of brothers and we put something positive together, you can't move the brothers without bringing the ninjas along because they mixed in and we don't know who they are. And some of them you need. And at a critical time, that's when they show their true face. And it killed the whole project. And then it's one person. I mean, you think about Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, Dr. King, and there's been scores of others. I ain't even mentioned their names yet. Uh, the Panthers, it's just been scores of other people on the grassroots level. And they have great ideas, movements, and it start out and it's great. And then they go and pluck out take out one or two key people, and it killed the whole thing. Everybody go fall right back in line doing the same nonsense, waiting for somebody else to do something.
Is that because of them being followers, or is that because that those men and women were that powerful?
It's a combination of three things. Well, they were that powerful, and it gave them hope, and we saw progress. So, hey, we can actually do this. And then when they get taken out and things get hard, then it's a reminder of long ago.
Well, that's fair.
We still those people. We still those people. We right back where we started. Technically, you're not. But it's like, they took them out. Who's going to step up next? I don't trust him with it. And that's what they wanted. It's no one right there readily available to step up, or the group to just keep the movement going.
Is it that the next one up is not accepted as the group as the one who just
Exactly.
Why is that though? Why is it that so do we deal just in personalities?
Now, that's a big part of it. Because if you leading, and we'll say, hey, let Damon lead. Let's go with Damon. Damon can do it. He knows what's going on. Well, no, because he's whatever. Well, no, I think, and they don't. Some of them don't even have another person to recommend. They just don't want him there.
Because
Don't
of
have a logical reason.
personalities, right? Personalities.
Is it personalities, or are they discouraged, man? If that's the case,
Both.
But where is the discouragement coming from?
That's what I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Not seeing anybody that you identify with when it comes to the struggle. That's where it comes from.
That's key. But what do you identify with the person or the actual struggle?
Well, I have a tendency to give people a benefit of the doubt. For me, it's wisdom and age. You know what I'm saying? What comes with that? Because anything that's below that is about survival at any cost. But once you have the wisdom and the knowledge to be something, and it's tried and true, then you know what I'm saying, you have to have trust in the process.
Yeah.
So why is our community?
And the thing where they lose touch, just do it where you're at, man. Do it where you at. Don't worry about what's going on in
But
LA and all that. Let them worry about LA. Let us all keep doing the same thing. Let's stay on the same sheet of music.
Why is our community
But this is just our spokesperson. This is the person that we are the wheels. We making it happen.
Right.
They keeping us motivated.
And that's KB, that's commitment, right?
So why is our community so caught up on
we can't hold it together, man. We can't hold it in the road.
Because
you know everybody, the thing that bothers me.
I don't believe that.
We can, I put it that way. But the thing that bothers me is that everyone else points that out about us, and they see that as a negative. We ain't worried about them because they ain't gonna stick together no way.
But hold on for a second, Keith.
Everyone said
part of what you're saying, Keith, is
even the
is
Latinos.
Charisma,
everybody says that.
Keith, it's charisma.
They don't stick together.
It's charisma.
What do you mean? What you mean by that, Keith? Keith Armstrong.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It's charisma. It's the simple fact that someone, the majority, the body of the Black community follows someone where either they can relate to that person, right? But really, they that shiny quarter, and they speaking the right thing.
Right. That's being confused with leadership is what that is.
That's my whole point.
But what embodies charisma though?
My point is
somebody who can communicate on the level that you're on.
Set it down.
Yeah, but the thing about it is when somebody only relies on charisma, period, right? Now, especially when the community now,
there has to be some substance there. You're right. You're absolutely right in that regard.
But this is my point though. once the person with the charisma, because when we get caught up on the charisma, once the person with the charisma, either he served his last term, right, or he is assassinated or wherever, we don't look. The other person is not as shiny as him. People drop off.
That's the thing.
Well,
No,
And see,
people drop off. Well, I have my opinion on that, man. But y'all go ahead.
what I like to see, this is what I like to see, and I see it in sparks, in spurts, where they can't find the head. You can't find the head. When you chop one off, it's still moving. It's movement over here. Then you go over here, you try to chop that off. It's something over, it's momentum over here. And they can't find a head. They
That
they
means
they uh-huh.
that means
So
that they have an agenda to find a head to chop off, bro.
exactly. But the thing is, our movement should continue. We should stay united, and our movement should go. Because if we are moving as a people, there is no head. It's a spokesperson, someone we have a face of it. But like they say about the president, that the president is the face of the country. He ain't running the country.
no.
He's the
But
face. He's a
a lot of
spokesperson.
people,
He a figurehead. What he
Yeah,
was up
a
to
lot
this
of people,
point.
a lot of people feel that he, especially in the white community, feel that he represents them, which is some horse shit. But it is what it is. You know what I
right.
mean?
No, you know what? They're not that naive. He represents a certain part of them. It could be that
Yes.
hatred towards minorities. It could be whatever the case is. As long as he's speaking on it, you know what I'm saying, they feel he's speaking to them. Even if he doesn't get it right, he spoke on it. Well, what about this? What do you guys think?
Of course.
They think that he down for him, and he really not. He just throwing spaghetti at the wall and shit to see what the hell sticks.
He is clickbait president.
Yeah.
Is what he is. We getting ready to drift into another topic, and we've been here for 2.5.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, last words.
That was my last word. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, don't worry about it because it was good shit. But last words. What do you love about yourself? We'll start with you, Flute.
What I love about myself is that I understand the fact that I'm a black man. No matter what part of the earth I plant my feet on, I'm gonna be that, and I accept it, and that's just what it is.
Got you. Keith, what do you love about yourself?
I love about myself that I'm genuine, and I am, even though I argue with it, I am optimistic about our people in life.
Got you. Jaquari, what you love about yourself?
I love the fact that I don't really have to chase authenticity. It just is what it is, and it's not contrived or anything like that.
Okay. What I love about myself is I can see through the murk that I created, and that's what's been created for me. I can see through it, I can sift through it, and I can make some kind of sense about it. All right, well, look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. I think Damon is buffering, but I'm going to let these gentlemen go because they gave me about a half an hour's worth more of their time than usual, which I definitely appreciate. But this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe on the Strong Perspective Podcast. And it's all love. It's all about communication. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Keep being who you are. We're here every Friday at 7:30. My host, Damon Armstrong, Jaquari Armstrong, Keith Barnes. Appreciate y'all. Y'all did a great job today. Outstanding. Outstanding job. That's realness. All right. this Strong Perspective podcast. We'll see y'all next week. All right, Eric. Peace.
Peace.